Good morning, guys. Today is Wednesday, the 18th of September 2019. Time is just coming up to 6:45, or just gone 6:45 UK time in the morning. And yeah, if you just a quick reminder, if you do like what you see in these videos, don't forget to subscribe. You can get notifications as to when these goes live and ask questions whilst I'm live streaming. So first of all, let's have a look. Let's see what's gone on since yesterday. I've taken profit on another position on NZD/USD. I'll come back to that a bit later. But first of all, let's start by just giving me a quick overview of the strategy. So if you're unfamiliar with the approach to this is a trend-based strategy based on price action and time frame correlation. So my approach to this is to always look at the daily first of all. In the daily, what I'm looking for are lower lows and lower highs in a downtrend. I use a standard deviation around the price as well, which is what you can see these three lines, and this just helps guide me as to how the price could be overbought or oversold. So in a downtrend, if the price is in this upper area here, in the upper half of this standard deviation, then we're deeming this to be overbought. And if it's in the lower half, then it's oversold. So in a downtrend, obviously we're looking for the best value for money. So we want the price to be as overbought as possible to allow for the best timing possible and the greatest profit potential. And in an uptrend, what we're looking for is higher highs and higher lows. And the standard deviation would be moving something like this. So upwards. So we're looking for higher highs, higher lows, and we're looking for the price to be oversold in terms of entry, and we want to get in when the price is as oversold as possible so that we've got a nice place for our stop loss and the potential for the price to move higher. So having seen the having used the daily for to assess whether the trade is worthwhile, I would then look to the lower time frames, and I'm looking for time frame correlation. So I want the lower time frames to be saying something very similar to what the daily is saying. So I've got on the screen 4 hourly, hourly, 15 and 5. So I want as much as possible, if we're looking at a downtrend, I want to see similar kind of price action on the lower time frame. So for starters, lower lows, lower highs in the price, and also the price being bought or oversold in terms of standard deviation. So hopefully that gives you a brief overview of what we're looking for. Daily is always the first point of call. So let's look at the Aud Cad first of all. So we can see, based on that description of how the strategy works, we've got some nice lower lows and lower highs in this instance. The price is overbought. It's in fact coming into some previous resistance that we saw in the price as well. So this area here is quite zonal resistance, because you can see these previous lows here as well, where the price had trouble moving much lower than there previously. It's come up and it's testing it now, and it's having trouble moving a bit higher than it. It's zonal at the moment, meaning it's not an exact level, but it's clearly having some troubles in previous days moving much higher. And using our standard deviation for another kind of confirming factor, we can see that it's come up to the upper edge of our standard deviation and it's moved away. So this has the potential to move lower, but the problem is that our lower time frames aren't really all correlating at the moment. To say the same thing as the daily, at the moment the 4 hourly is still representing this retrace that we saw on the daily, and this is quite bullish. The lower time frames here are starting to roll over, show lower lows, lower highs, but it's just not enough for me at the moment. So I want all of these to be giving clear bearish signs before attempting to short this. So I'd pass on that one. Okay, Aud Chf, next one. Same story, because it's a similar cross with Aud, and it's finding resistance. We can see here, and this level here was, let's see how far back, there's previous support that the price was finding as well. So we can deem that this is a level that the price is going to have trouble moving much higher than. Gives a reference point for our stop loss. It's obviously overbought as well in terms of standard deviation, but our 4 hourly here is still very bullish. No real signs of reversal yet. these lower time frames are still flat, moving very sideways. We at very least, you want to see it bust through this support, this previous level that we're seeing here on the hourly, for example. If the price were to break through this definitively and start to make lower lows, lower highs, that would give us a better sign that there'll be some bearishness in the market and potentially get on short. But at the moment, no, it's not telling a very clear story, so pass on that one. AUD JPY, won't labour the point because this is very similar to the last one, interacting resistance here, interacting with the upper edge of our standard deviation. That's bullish. Support here needs to be broken, so wait for that to be broken before attempting to short. So pass on that. AUD USD, be bearish on this overall, but deal breaker at the moment is still the 4 hourly here. This is still, for me, is still captured in this upward move, so this retrace that we were seeing in the daily. So for clarification that this move here is a retrace rather than a potential reversal, so the price is going to start moving higher highs and higher lows, I'd want to see this support here start to be broken more definitively, and it has started to do so on the lower time frames already. So what's great on the hourly is it's broken through that previous support. Just blow this up. This previous support that we're seeing here would have been, I think, in yesterday's market. It broke through it and it's pulled back. So there is a bit more context now to this going to the short side. Let's just see how the standard deviation works on this. Yep. So this move here, we can see that there's context to this in a downtrend. So the one thing that's really missing on this is better confirmation on the 4 hourly, but you could aggressively look to short this based on a stop loss above these previous highs here. Yeah, there's enough reward to risk in this to make this viable. So stops above what would be the resistance. Sorry, just zoom out again. Stops above these previous highs here is a sensible place for the stop because it's above what we're deeming as a lower high in this move. And you know, a 1-to-1 reward to risk is quite viable if we see this move continue down, and even these types of lows, or at least before this type of resistance, offers, you know, profit potential. That would be slightly aggressive in my opinion because of the 4 hourly not definitively moving lower as of yet, and just where the placement is on in terms of the daily as well. No, it'd be okay. The main thing on this is the 4 hourly. Just to break that previous support level here would be better, but like I said, this could be aggressively entered with stops above those highs. I would certainly, if entering this based on that setup, at the moment I'd be thinking 1% risk at the moment rather than, so I risk between half and 3%. This would be, at this point, I'd be willing to risk 1% with the potential of adding to the position, so scaling in as the price started to move more in the desired direction. So at the moment, this is about a 1% entry for me, no more than that at this point in time. But yeah, good potential on that. So CAD CHF, no. CAD JPY. No. Some decent bearishness on this move here that we've captured, but similar to some of the other crosses, this retrace here that we're seeing in the daily is quite bullish on the other time frames. And the hourly and lower time frames are still quite flat and sideways, so not great price action to trade off, so I'll pass on that. No, downward overall. Retrace there is still bullish. These are still bullish. They don't agree, so pass. So this is Euro AUD. bullish on this overall because of what the daily's saying in this move here, but it's kind of the reverse of what you've seen in the other ones because this move here, this retrace down of this move here is bearish, but we're looking to be long on this, so we want to see better signs of bearishness on the 4-hourly and the hourly and all these other time frames here. Started on the lowest of time frames, 15 and 5. We're starting to see some bullish moves, but really there's this area of resistance just to be wary of as well here. Yeah, so previous support, resistance here. I want to see it break through that definitively and then pull back, allowing for a better entry. And then using the daily, for example, as a guide, stops below this type of level. It would be quite a wide stop, meaning your 1-to-1 reward to risk would probably be around these kinds of levels. Not ideal, but tradable nonetheless. But we'd need to see the price do what we want it to do first of all before considering that. So next, Aud Cad. This has got a bit more context to it now. It didn't before. I'm looking at this move here, which is clearer on the 4-hourly with lower lows, lower highs. Falls nicely within the standard deviation. It's just that these lower time frames again don't really have any definitive signs of bearishness. It's quite choppy at the moment, but probably be looking at this into mic bump. So looking into this towards the end of this week, probably into next week, just to see how this event it kind of develops, because this what we've got around the standard deviation at the moment as well, you could just put a standard trend line on that. So it's finding resistance against these tops here. So seeing some reversal candles off of that in the coming days would also mean that these lower time frames start to roll over and show lower lows and lower highs, and we'd be able to put the standard deviation kind of from high to low around that. But it's a bit too aggressive at the moment to try and short that for me, so just wait to see better signs of reversal on the higher time frames and look for an entries on the lower time frames. Like I said, that could be until the end of the week into next week before that happens. So next one here is Euro CHF, bearish overall on this, but there you can see in yesterday's candle it's broken previous resistance, still hasn't broken our standard deviation, so there's still a good chance of it coming back to the average and finding some value, but there's no signs of reversal really on the daily or the lower time frames as of yet. So I would be super hesitant to even consider shorting this at the moment, so I'd pass on that. No, I wouldn't trade that for now. Similar to what I've said in the other ones, got a nice downtrend, bearish overall. It's found resistance, these previous highs here in recent price, so that's good, but there's no signs of reversal yet on our daily. There's no reversal candles, but it's good. It's in upper edge of our standard deviation. These lower time frames, these are bullish, where the story that we want to see is bearish, so pass. No, that's not great price action to read. This is very similar to that other one I was looking at. So this nice price action, lower lows, lower highs, standard deviation. It's in the overbought area, which is good. It's found resistance in previous days with this high here at previous support levels. Gives a reference point for our stop above these type of levels. But I mean, the 4-hourly is good as well. It's bearish, but the problem at the moment are these lower time frames aren't really definitively showing any bearishness. They're very sideways, very choppy. So yeah, if some better price action materialized in these lower time frames, maybe this would be worth a short, but not quite right for me at the moment, so pass on that. No, not trade that at the moment. Here bearish, again no real clear signs of reversal on the daily, but there is some area of resistance that it's encountered but all these lower time frames are very bullish at the moment as well, where the story I'm looking for is bearish. So I would pass on that one. Yeah, pass on that one. Pass. Again, pass. And just to go back as well, the reason that I'm just, I'm passing up on a lot of trades here, and it's just being super picky. But the thing to be aware of is the price isn't necessarily like reversing at the moment. If overall we're right on this being a downtrend and the price is retracing rather than reversing. So the difference being a retrace is just the price kind of takes a breather in the downtrend before it kind of goes on an impulse down again, compared to a reversal, which is it completely turn rounds, does a U-turn, goes the opposite direction. Is what I'm anticipating is a retrace. So the price is just taking a breather before moving in the direction that we want, much lower. So that's where patience comes in very, very handy, because if it's retracing, then the only thing that you're going to get by waiting is just better value for money. The price is going to creep up, show signs of reversal, and then you jump on when you see those signs of reversal in the price, to resume with the trend. That is. So yeah, I'm not kind of deterred by the fact that there aren't any trades to jump on the back of right now. It just means that I'm getting a better price potentially overall. So patience can pay off in that way. So NZD CAD, this is very similar to what I was trading on the NZD USD that made money off, but at the moment this is a bit too late in the phase. So you can see, the time to trade this was when we saw reversals up here, this type of level, and the price started to kind of cycle down in the lower time frames, and that's exactly the type of trade that I look for. Now it's moved on a bit too much to decide to short this now for me, because as it approaches this previous low here, there's a good chance that it's going to find support. So entering here, it would mean that your take profit is probably going to be just on this, or just before it, or beyond it, and that just makes the trade slightly trickier, because you've got more things against you to take your profit. When taking a profit off, when taking a position up here, it means that you've got a more likely chance of hitting your take profit, because it's before this low here. As it approaches this low, there's a good chance it's going to find support. So if I'm taking at least some of the money off before that time, then it's just a more probable trade. So shorting now for me, it's just a little bit too late in this move, if you like, to try and jump on the back of it. So I would pass on this now, although I'm still bearish on this overall. NZD JPY, no, wouldn't look to trade this at the moment. NZD USD, already discussed this really in terms of what the NZD CAD was doing, because they move, they're pretty correlated. But this was one that I was where did I get out of this? So I had two positions, discussed the other one yesterday. This one here, 71.73. I got out of this because I was basically pulling down the stop loss to protect profits. So this is why this is in red, because I used my stop loss to protect the profits. So I wasn't actually losing anything. It was profit that was made, but it was done via the stop loss, which I pulled down. So if we look at the price I got out at, which was 0.63376. Oh, what's going on there? Where has that gone? Okay, one sec. 0.63376. Okay. So my exit was at this level. It would have been, so it came down here. Yeah, so what I was doing in the price action, I was using this as a, it's probably based on the 5 minute, but I'll use the hourly here. I was using this as a previous lower high. So in this move here, so I wouldn't have seen this price action have come across here. So it was quite aggressive. Got out here, but I was happy with that. I already made, 100 off of the first position, 70 off of this. So it was about 1.5 risk to 2 to just over. It's about 1 to 1 overall, just over that in terms of raw to risk. So yeah, happy with that. Definitely could have milked more out of it. It would have been about the same. You can see the price now is about the same price I exited at, but I'm not looking to get into this again. Yeah, happy with the way that turned out. But just keep an eye on that for other opportunities. So USD CAD, can't see any opportunities on that right now. USD CHF, this resistance is still holding up here, this level, but there haven't been any really good signs of potential reversals on our lower time frames to warrant shorting this as of yet. So I am bearish on this, but no entries really. And USD JPY, yeah, bearish, resistance holding up, but all our other time frames are quite bullish at the moment. Bullish, very flat, entering resistance, so needs signs of reversal before shorting. And that's it. That's everything for today. So yeah, any questions, leave them in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. Thanks a lot. See you tomorrow. Bye.